Kenya Moore is looking for a comeback, okay? Kenya from the Real Housewives of Atlanta is on a redemption arc. She's on a redemption tour. She recently went on the Tamron Hall show and apologized. Yes, apologized for her behavior and what went down during this season's filming of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, we all know Kenya was fired pretty much midway through filming when she shared explicit images of cast member Brittany Eady during an all-cast filming event, okay? And you better believe we're going to talk about it. Welcome back to Damieon After Dark. Before we begin, make sure you click that subscribe button. Like this video if you haven't already. That helps me get into the algorithm. Get in the comment section below and join the conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions about this story. And last but not least, if you would like to donate to the channel, in the description box below will be some ways that you can donate, okay? Thank you guys so much for the love and support, all right? So this story has been on the net. Kenya, let's just go ahead and be real with it. And I love me some Kenya Moore. I've been a big fan of the Real Housewives of Atlanta for a long time. But Kenya is feeling the pressure, okay? She was fired from the show. The money is no longer coming in. And I think Kenya realized, look, I need to do damage control. I need to do damage control, and I need to get back on this show. And I wouldn't put it past Bravo. I wouldn't put it past PR, public relations, whatever you want to call it. I wouldn't put it past the machine to have pulled Kenya aside when they fired her and said, look, you know, we're going to have to let you go for now, but we'd like to bring you back, but you're going to have to apologize. You're going to have to, you know, do the whole public bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And because do I really think that Kenya's apologetic about this situation? No. I think she's just got to save face, and she's got to do what she's got to do to try to get her job back. Do I think that Kenya's apologetic for what she did? No. This is her standard behavior. This is what they do on the Real Housewives. You know, you shake shit up, you do shit to amp it up, right? And I don't think she's sorry. I think that she's sorry she got caught and that she got fired. And look, let's be real. The money's not coming in. Kenya's bills are still piling up. And she realizes that she's got to do something. And she was making, look, Kenya's been on the show for what, since 2012? That is about 11 to 12 seasons. So she's making at least $1 million at this point. Damn near, if not $1 million. So that's her bread and butter. What else was Kenya doing? We do know that she opened her salon. Well, it says it's open, and she says that she opened it. But apparently when you go by Kenya Moore hair spa, hair studio, it's closed. And it looks like, according to one blogger, straight from the A, there was FedEx had tried to drop off a package multiple times there, and they could not reach anyone. So there's this big, beautiful salon that Kenya has had built. And nobody's working there. Nobody's doing anything there. And I know that's got to be a cash cow. I know that rent in Atlanta is not cheap, especially in the area that her business is in. You know, you spend all this money for the design, the interior design, hell, not even the design. Let's talk about the construction of the place, right? I think, didn't she build that, or didn't they build that from a renovate, or what do you call it? A foreclosed building, a dilapidated building that they kind of flipped. Wasn't that what that situation was? Either way, Kenya's got this hair salon that she's opened. but there's no money coming in. It's all going out. All right, so that's one strike for her. She's not filming the show, so there's no money coming in there. Kenya Moore Hair Care has apparently been allegedly discontinued by Sally Beauty, CVS, and other places like that. Now, apparently you can find Kenya Moore Hair Care in Sally Beauty and in CVS, but they're gonna be it's the ones on the bottom that are clearance with dust on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the bottles that haven't been sold. Like, literally what they sell, whatever these stores have left is all that's gonna sell. And then allegedly there's not gonna be any more. Now, I don't know if this has to do with what she did with the whole Brit Eady thing. But I do know that from a brand standpoint, from a PR standpoint, it wasn't a good look for her. Only because I feel like we made it a bigger deal than what it really was, right? If those images were already out there that Kenya went and found, is it really revenge P? I don't know. Maybe I should look up the definition of revenge P again. But I just feel like, where do we draw the line with some of these Housewives shows sometimes, you know? You know, we have people that can go to prison on these shows, but when you show a photo of somebody doing something, that's where it draws the line. Like, you know, I could see if Kenya had obtained images of Britney that were never before seen, maybe private images that were in her phone, you know, that completely understandable. But from what I've understood and been told, is that these were images that were on her OnlyFans. You know, back during the pandemic, back when OnlyFans was popping and the girls, you know, was trying to bring a little bit of money in, and they was popping pussy on OnlyFans. So Kenya allegedly got a photo from that. So is it really revenge P if it was already out there and it's been sold? Listen, I don't like this for Kenya. I just feel like, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. What I don't like is that she's being sold down the river when producers knew what she was going to do, you know? And even Kenya said that when she went on Tamron Hall, the Tamron Hall show, and we're going to try to play a clip here from that, if I can. Do we have the clip? From the Tamron Hall show, where Kenya even mentions, you know, I showed the producers before we taped, or before we filmed it, and I just thought they would blur out the, you know, whatever, and we would go on. So it's not like Kenya just pulled this out of her ass. Production was in on it too, so she's just the scapegoat in it all, unfortunately. I do love her daughter Brooklyn, and I hate to see a woman, a working mother, have food taken off her table, because look, it's rough right now for her. I'm sure the bills, like I said, the bills are still coming in, but where's the Bravo check? Where's the Sally's check? Where's the CVS check? You know, she's out here trying to peddle a book, a children's book now, which I see you, Kenya, get your money, hustle, do what you got to do. She's trying to get her money. But let's hear what Kenya had to say on the Tamron Hall show about this whole situation, her first time speaking publicly about it, and her apology. Roll it.
Let me tell you what happened. So from that night where all of this stuff happened and there were threats in my direction, and I felt very concerned. I told the producers, I'm concerned, I'm scared, and I kind of feel like they said, oh, we'll take care of it. And it didn't feel like it was taken care of. They actually made me feel like I was being like a black Karen. Like, here Kenya goes again. Nothing really happened. They were joking or something. I don't take threats or the way that I felt. You can't invalidate my feelings. And it was a real concern for me. I'm a single mom with a beautiful child that if anything happened to me, no one would be there for her.
So you felt threatened by some actions that happened?
Yes, and she repeatedly said, or it was said, that you don't know who I am. So I didn't feel like I was being protected, and I took matters into my own hands.
What did you do?
I did my research on her. I found a lot of information, especially in the, you know, explicit world, with a few clicks, with people helping me. I didn't get things sent to me, photos or videos that I did see. allegedly that were her. And I said, okay, if no one else is going to step up for me and protect me, I'm going to protect myself, and I'm going to tell everyone what I found out about her. It's a receipt. And before I joined Housewives of any franchise, 5 years in, we made up the term receipts, right?
Yeah.
If you find dirt on someone or somebody is messing with you, you come back with what? A receipt.
Right.
I found a valid receipt found on the internet.
So you knew that Bravo was recording your
Yes, it was
salon.
during a taping. Everyone signed waivers. It was during a taping. I didn't stand out on the corner, posting anything. It was during a taping. And we know, even with nudity that has happened on the show, they blur things out. So at the end of the day, I knew that they would likely blur it out because
So
whatever it was that I found, they didn't like the receipt. It was explicit. And they didn't like, I found a lot, but I only showed one.
Okay, so at the salon, you have these images up that you say you found on your own.
I pulled them out at some point.
So they were up. At some point, you pulled them out.
That
they're
was
up.
one part of it, yes.
But they're up.
Yes.
Okay. And
they were
so
shown.
you assume that they would be blurred out when this aired.
Of course they would. They can't show
Because
nudity.
they can't show this.
Yes.
Were you building a moment? I mean, I know you said the other person was trying to make a name for themselves, allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
Were you trying to have a Kenya moment doing this and it backfired?
I don't think that it's a Kenya moment. I live my truth. You've
But
seen
you're
me
the shade assassin.
I'm the shade assassin, but my moment is my life.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I don't need to create a moment.
Right.
There's a difference.
Which surprised me because I know, again, we have a lot of people and friends in common, and I know how TV works. I know how to produce this show.
Yes.
I was surprised by the level of aggression in this because that didn't seem like you.
Listen, in hindsight is always 50-50. And if I could do it all over again, I believe the photos were very distasteful, and I elevated the situation. I've elevated situations before,
So
and
you're
I've
taking
taken full accountability for the things that I've done. I am sorry for what I've done. I didn't have to take it that far. But when I felt threatened, I've never had a child and be in a situation like this before. So that's why I escalated it to the point where I was protecting not only myself, but my child.
We reached out to Bravo, and they said we take all allegations of violations of our policy.
Now, Kenya, listen, I applaud her for taking accountability and apologizing, even though it's just, I feel like, first of all, the apology's not real, right? Because I told y'all she's only apologizing to get back in good graces and get back on the show. I really feel like this was orchestrated with her and Bravo. Go on Tamron Hall, apologize, save face. We'll bring you back next season. But what I don't like is if you're going to take accountability for it, Kenya, take accountability for it. And don't try to continue to double down with, oh, she threatened my life. She threatened me. Because that's what Kenya is saying, that the only reason she pulled these revenge P out, the only reason she brought these photos out was because Britt Edie told Kenya, you don't know who I am. And Kenya took that as a threat. And we see her in the video tearing up saying, it hit me differently because I have a daughter and that was a threat. And it's like, Kenya, come on now. Stop. You playing the Karen. You're being a Karen. You're playing the victim. Like, come on now. Let's stop. Because if somebody says you don't know who I am, that doesn't mean they're about to do bodily harm to me, right? That's not what that means. Like, people say that to try to be tough. This is Britt's first season. She's trying to make her mark. You've said a lot of crazy and wild shit too, Kenya. Like, come on now. The fact that you're trying to justify yourself or give yourself a little bit of leeway by saying, oh, well, she threatened me. And then there was I don't think, Kenya didn't say this on the Tamron Hall show, but she had alleged at one point to an outlet or or during Instagram. I don't know how this got out, but allegedly, Kenya claimed that Britt had a pow-pow there. And Bravo didn't protect her and all this stuff, and that's all alleged, but I don't believe that because Bravo allegedly conducted an investigation, and they said they found nothing credible of that. They found that Britt did not have a GUN, and they found that she did not threaten Kenya. Kenya is just she's grasping for anything to justify what she did instead of just saying, yo, I fucked up. Because she was taking accountability, she was acknowledging what she did, and then she had to turn the car around when she said, but she said, you don't know who I am, and I have a daughter, and that hit me differently. It's like, oh girl. Listen, what I think is going to happen is the new season of the Real Housewives of Atlanta is going to play out. We know that Cynthia Bailey is back, Portia's back, Phaedra came back once Kenya got booted. We got all these new girls that are in the mix. It's kind of like a soft reboot in a way. So if this goes well and this season goes well, I don't see Bravo really caring to bring Kenya back. I see them saying, oh, great. If Atlanta has a season like Potomac and Salt Lake City, where they have added these new cast members in and gotten rid of a few people or whatever, if Atlanta has a great season like they're having, I don't see them really caring to bring Kenya back. Now, if it goes and it tanks, I can see them trying to bring Kenya back. And now she's apologized to Britt and saved face for the network, because that's all it boils down to at the end of the day. The network don't give a fuck. Bravo don't give a shit about this whole revenge P thing. It's all politics, and they don't want to look bad. So they have to get rid of the person who did this, which is Kenya. What do y'all think about this story? Do y'all feel sorry for Kenya? Are you glad that she's taking accountability? Do you believe her when she says she's sorry, or do you think this is all an act to get back on the show? You guys really feel like she's actually apologetic to Britt? I feel like this was a missed opportunity for a great season, because I wanted to see Kenya interacting with Britt, Edie, and these new girls. I wanted to see Kenya interact with Portia more. We were going to get to see their dynamic, and I feel like we're going to be robbed of that this season. So I don't know. It's going to be a very interesting season for Real Housewives of Atlanta. There really hasn't been too many leaks, which I'm glad. I want surprises. I don't want all these Instagram leaks. So we'll see what happens. Join the conversation by getting in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed already. And if you want to leave a donation in the description box below, there'll be ways that you can donate. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time on Damien After Dark.